actually need Christmas products to make Christmas cards? Well, in this video, I show you that you don't necessarily need all Christmas products. If you have a nice Christmas stamp, sentiment stamp, you should be good. So here you can see I'm taking two different dies here. These are actually spring release. They're just a basic leaf die and some floral dies. And I've chosen two different dies here. So I'm going to take the leafy one and then the round one. So in my mind, I'm looking at those round ones as berries and the other one like a wintry leaf kind of a thing. So I encourage you to kind of look into your stash, all your products that you have, and you can see if you can convert those products to use them as elements for which it's not meant to be. Like here, this is actually a spring foliage, but I'm going to use it as a Christmas. All it takes is changing the texture or changing the color or just changing its characteristics a bit. So here I'm just coloring this. Now you don't have to use a Copic color or any kind of coloring. You can actually die cut these leaves in green color if you like to, and then do the shading a little bit. And for the white, you could just add some two white round circles on it. But I chose to color it because I wanted to give it some depth and some character to these leaves and just kind of enhance it and make it more elegant for a Christmas card. For me, when I think about a Christmas card, I'm always thinking elegance and beauty and classic and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to do here with this card. So I just showed you how I'm coloring. It's very simple, nothing too fancy. Just keeping those berries white here. So it's kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking it's like a mistletoe, though the leaves are not like a mistletoe leaf, but you know, you can make do with it. And then I'm going to take this berry looking, actually I think these are florals, but I'm going to convert them into berries. So I'm just going to again color the stem with some green and then do the berries with some reds. So it's very simple. I'm just doing dark to light. I'm just kind of creating it such a way that the lighter shade ends in the top part of the berry, so that's like the top of the berry, and then I will finish that off with a light pink, and that you can see how beautiful that turns out. Now make sure if you're using a color, make sure you go on the edges too, because otherwise the white of the paper will be seen. So when you're coloring, just go around the edges so that you can get rid of those colors. So here I'm just continuing to color. I just kept this coloring for you. Most videos I plan not to show much coloring because coloring does take a lot of time. And most of the videos that we show is for products and for you to know how you can use them indifferently. And of course, the medium, how you choose to color is absolutely left up to you. But I just kept this just because I just wanted you to see how this very non-traditional Christmas die card turns its face or character to become something completely different. So here I've taken this, so you can see it's all converted into berries, and I'm just adding some white dots on the top to give it that shine. And I have actually done a few of them earlier, so I have quite a few. So I think I have 4 of the green ones and then a few of the berries. And I'm going to keep it aside. I've taken this green cardstock here and I'm going to actually splatter some gold paint only in the center of this cardstock, like in a circle. I don't want it to spread too much everywhere. I'm concentrating those splatter to be in that circle in the center of the card. If you guessed what this is going to become, you are right. If it's a wreath, it's kind of a wreath, but not really a wreath. It makes sense as you see it. And I'm using this sentiment stamp from the Christmas berry, I think it's berry stamp. I just used that stamp in another video last week, so hopingly you can, if you click in our videos, you'll be able to see that stamp set. Anyway, I've gone ahead and stamped that onto a white cardstock with some gold. And here I've taken some gold thread floss. I've made it into a circular wad and I'm going to place it in the center. And then I'm going to adhere the sentiment piece on top of that wad. I haven't glued that floss yet to the cardstock. So I'm actually going to glue the sentiment on top of the floss, so that way it will hold the floss, because otherwise it's very difficult to fiddle around with a very thin floss like that. This makes it easier, you can see. And now I have this beautiful circular thing around so I'm kind of making it like a very modern kind of a wreath. So I'm thinking this circular floss to be the wreath base, and now it's time to add the beautiful leaves and berries that we colored. So I'm just going to tuck it in, and I of course this video is sped up, but it's just kind of placing them in the way that you want. So I wanted it to go in a circle, but not like a full circle. It's kind of like a squarish circle, if you may. You'll see when I start building it. And I'm just adding very little glue in different spots, because I don't want those leaves to adhere flat. I want them to be popped up. Clearly, this card is not for you to send by mail. Give it to someone you love. Personally, give it to them in their hand. It's hand delivered. So I'm just adding this this leafy die around that sentiment, creating that wreath-like look. And I'm just fiddling around because I want to make sure that I can, you know, the good thing with this die, this leaf die, was that it was very pliable because it was very thin, so I could kind of move it a little bit so that I could create that circle or that rounded effect. And then all that was left to do was the berries. Of course, I didn't want to put the entire berry stem because it's quite a bit. So I chose a few berries from that, and I'm just attaching them in different spots. And you can see it just brightens up that wreath. You could have left it at the green itself, that it looked beautiful too. But I thought about it, and then I said, no, I think I'm going to add some berries in the wreath itself. So I'm just adding berries, some tucked inside the leaves, some over. So just kind of creating that colorful Christmas traditional wreath, but yet very modern and very elegant. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. And so here you can see I've added all the berries. Now I wanted to add a few white dots as well, because I just felt like white draws your eye to the focus. I don't know, it's something about the white on a dark color really adds to it. And it really added to that splatter as well, and to the festivities of this beautiful wreath. I really fell in love with this card after I created. I hope you feel the same way too. Leave us a comment and let us know. And then I'm just going to add some crystal rocks here. I felt that the top part of that sentiment, it felt like it was a little empty there, so I decided to add some crystals in that corner. And when I added that, I fell in love with the crystal so much that I kind of started adding it into my wreath as well. And you know, it really looked so pretty at the end. It wasn't like it was overdone or anything. It just turned out very, very pretty. I didn't use really large crystals, but here you can see how it looks, all sparkly and pretty. You can hear it in my voice. I'm so excited. And then I just added this panel onto like a side folding note card in a landscape way, and then I just put that directly onto it, and that pretty much, you know, finished the card. And here is the final look, a closer look of this card. So next time you see a stamp set made for spring or something, don't stop at spring. Take it, stretch your products to the other seasons as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.